Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Tuesday, May 9th. So today we had the moon in Capricorn all day. So we're very grounded. We're very connected to our physical circumstances, our physical realms. We are trying to kind of tidy up our space, our environment, and we are distracting ourselves with physical tasks and chores in order to kind of avoid the emotional realm, the mental realm, if you will. We become content and satisfied when we have results. And that means that productivity is going to be high under the moon in Capricorn's influence. And we are really just trying to have a good perspective, a real perspective on our circumstances and our situation. Instead of kind of hoping for what it could be, we are definitely prepared to see it as it is. So, of course, with the Capricorn energy, we are very focused on our roles and responsibilities in life. We are taking a good look at the foundations, the structures that we have built in our lives, and just kind of sorting through, re-evaluating, if you will, whether or not we could do better in building better routines, structures, and foundations in our lives, whether some are falling apart and need to be rebuilt altogether. We're just trying to kind of take it all in. And of course, we're still in eclipse energy. We're still in retrograde energy, which means that there's an overall re-evaluation, recalibration, realignment going on. And emotionally speaking, because the moon does represent our emotions, we are looking for grounding energy here in this Capricorn energy. So there are 7 different aspects here today. 6 of them involve the moon. The only one that doesn't involve the moon is actually a pretty important one. We'll have the sun and Uranus come together, conjunct one another. We'll talk about that in just a second when we get to that particular aspect throughout the day. But first, we have the moon popping off with the sun in such a way that will illuminate for us, again, because we're having some earth on earth energies here, what it is that we actually need to change in our physical realm. What isn't strong enough to kind of survive the next chapter? What do we have to bring into our physical realms in reality in order to provide us with the stability, the safety, the security that we are identifying that we are currently lacking? The moon then goes ahead and interacts with Uranus in such a way that is going to illuminate for us where it is that we need to be a little bit emotionally detached in order to see the situation as it is, and again, not in the way that we wished it would actually be. This Uranian energy does have a tendency to kind of give us an aha moment, an epiphany, a change in perspective. And because we are kind of very grounded with the moon being in Capricorn energy and earth energy, and Uranus being in an earth energy, Taurus energy, we are definitely seeing in our physical realms from our physical eyes the most logical and practical way about making some of these changes that we've identified absolutely have to be made before we can go on and start building towards new goals, new visions, new dreams. The moon in Capricorn will then trine, beautiful energy, with the true node, the north node here in Taurus energy. This again is our soul path, our destiny point. And because this is a trine, this means that we are coming up with some solutions. We're making some progress. We're seeing some growth. We're recognizing what needs to be fixed, what needs to be healed in order for us to actually move on. The moon will then sextile, which is another beautiful interaction, with Saturn, its ruler, who of course is in Pisces energy. Now, this is going to definitely show us where it is that some roles, some responsibilities in our lives are changing, mostly because we are jumping timelines. We are kind of re-editing some soul contracts here. Saturn, of course, in this Pisces energy is here to dismantle old beliefs, kind of put an end to old passions, old desires, old dreams, and in its place, build something more in alignment with our soul selves. And so the moon in Capricorn is definitely showing where it is that we have to kind of boss up, take control in order to make some of the changes that we know that we need to make for our physical realms. But we're not shying away from it. We're also not feeling pressurized by it. We're also not really kind of feeling obligated or committed to things that we don't really want to do. We're actually rising to the challenge here. So that's a pretty good vibration to be in, considering the fact that if this was a negative aspect, we would be all Debbie Downer and negative Nancy about what it is that we are being asked to pursue. And of course, what we have to do within ourselves to be the version of ourselves to actually go ahead and pursue these new goals, these new dreams, these new visions. The moon in Capricorn will then trine, which again, beautiful energy, with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is retrograde in Taurus energy. So again, we get some earth on earth action here. This is our heart space versus our head space. It's a trine, which means that they're getting along. They are both in earth energy. So we're taking a real good look at our physical realm, the physical circumstances that we got going on. This Mercury being retrograde energy has us kind of reflective, reviewing, revising what it is that we've created, reevaluate whether or not it is going to be a permanent fixture in our lives or whether we have to kind of zhuzh things up, bring some spice, some excitement back to our lives. And of course, in this earth energy, we're very focused on our day-to-day routines, on our relationships, and on our money matters. So 3:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the sun in Taurus energy coming up to, sitting next to, conjunct with Uranus, the great awakener, who is in Taurus energy as well. So anytime that the sun is making a conjunction with a planet, it means that essentially it's being revitalized, it's being renewed. We're recharging it in a way. So there's a huge, huge influence on a new beginning of sorts. So the fact that, first of all, Uranus has been in Taurus energy for quite some time, not its best place to be because Uranus pushes for spontaneous change. And in the sign of Taurus, a fixed earth sign, we don't like change at all. We resist it, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. And so Uranus's whole time in Taurus, collectively speaking, is trying to show us where it is that we have to change the way that we are looking at the earth, the way that we are looking and kind of using our resources, food, money, possessions, wealth, relationships, all of those types of things. So the sun kind of, bumping into Uranus at this time, it's a revitalization because, of course, the sun is our life force energy. It's our vitality. It kind of triggers and activates a spontaneous electricity that will reverberate through all the levels of the cosmos, creating change. And of course, we're in eclipse season, we're in retrograde season, change is upon us, regardless of whether we want it or not. This is definitely going to kind of shake things up a bit. And we could, yes, have some very wild card energies at play. We could have new information come about, new opportunities come about. Regardless, this is like we're free to move. Okay, so we've kind of been boxed up, very focused on the inner realm of just kind of exploring things. Now we're kind of getting into the realm where we're given permission and very much being supported in movement, especially if it is leading to change. This is where new directions come in. This is where new goals, new visions, new dreams come in. It is really a time where we're starting to realize where it is that we want to move forward. And it's also a time of realization on where it is that we need to do whatever it is that we have to do in order to get comfortable in our bodies, in our circumstances, in our physical realms. And a lot of that is because we've been sitting in the funks, sitting in the level of uncomfortability, realizing where we don't feel safe and secure and stable. And through those realizations and through the inner reflection and inner processing of our emotional and mental realms, we're starting to figure out what needs to change. And now we are kind of gifted an opportunity to start making those changes. And keep in mind that this could be, we're aligning with our higher selves. We're acting as the observer. We're making some very progressive moves, changes, and transformations. Or the change and the transformation that we're going to be making is coming out of rebelling against conformity, rebelling against the old life, rebelling against, what it is that we've built. And either way, doesn't matter, change is upon us. But we are going to start seeing some rapid acceleration in our physical realms where change is absolutely necessary. Anything that we identify in our physical realms right now that is limiting, blocking us, restricting us, holding us back will be broken down. This is what this whole point of it is to recognize the blockages and allow that Uranian energy to free us, liberate us from those particular situations and circumstances. So this is a time where we are just kind of tired of following the rules, so to speak, tired of following tradition, tired of just putting our own wants, needs, and desires on the back burner in order to fulfill other people's expectations of us. And, there's just a little bit of life coming back into our ego avatars. And there is this sudden burst of energy for us to want to just go out in the world and tackle different paths, directions. And of course, the reverberation of change goes from our inner realm to our outer realm. So there's definitely going to be a buildup of energy there. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon making a positive interaction with Neptune. So Neptune is in its place of power in Pisces. It's been water on water, really trying to cleanse us, purify us of our pain, of our trauma, of our hurt, of our memories, really kind of wipe that slate clean, give us a new opportunity to build ourselves up with belief systems, with certain goals, certain visions, certain dreams. We're tapping into a new level of imagination and creativity on what it is that we want to manifest. And this is why I love this interaction, because we get the magic from Neptune being in Pisces, that creativity, that flow, that fluidity, that intuitive insight, and we're able to actually bring it into our physical realms. Through the moon being in Capricorn energy, and Capricorn energy is the great manifester of the zodiac. So we do have a high probability here to be able to take a new vision, new insight, new goal, new dream, and actually get to work on bringing it into our physical realm.